baking is massive right now, and with that comes loads of trends and fads. But one thing that's here to stay is the cupcake. Now my recipe is based on that American classic sandwich of peanut butter and jelly, or jam, as we're British after all. They're a light vanilla and peanut butter flavoured cupcake with a hidden strawberry jam filling, topped off with a smooth peanut butter frosting, and then finished with chopped peanuts and strawberry pieces. Now these are based around a simple Victoria sponge essentially. So I've just got some Flora buttery, which is great because it starts off soft, so there's no need to take it out of the fridge early. And then to that I'm going to add some golden caster sugar because it gives that lovely sort of toffee flavour. I'm using some smooth peanut butter. That's going to act as part of the fat in the cake, and then blend it all up together. And then go in with the eggs. It's really important when you're adding eggs into a mix like this, just to do them one at a time, otherwise the mixture can curdle. And then give it a blend. And then in with the second egg. Just give it a quick push down on the side, just to make sure that's all mixing in nice and evenly. And then in with a little bit of vanilla extract. And then self-raising flour to give that lovely lift. And just for a little bit of extra help, some baking powder. Sieve that over and then fold everything together. This is just a little bit thick, so you want to add a splash of milk just to loosen down the mixture slightly. So there we are, cake mixture's ready. Then take half of the cupcake mixture and divide it between 12 cupcake cases. So that's those half full. I can go and get my jam. I've kept it in the fridge because it just makes it that little bit easier to spoon. Using peanut butter, it's got to be strawberry jam that goes with it. So what will happen is the cake mixture will bake around the jam, trapping it on the inside and turning it kind of warm and liquid. So when you break inside, you can have this lovely strawberry jam oozing out. So the jam's in, and then all that's left to do is just top off with the remaining mixture. Just make sure that when you put the mixture over, it just falls down and covers that jam completely, because you don't want it to leak out. So these guys are ready for the oven to about 20 to 25 minutes at 170 degrees. Once the cakes are out of the oven, transfer them to a wire rack and leave them to cool completely. For the frosting, I'm using some more smooth peanut butter and then some more Flora buttery. Just combine them in a stand mixer and blend them until they're smooth, but don't overwork it because the mixture can split. In with the icing sugar, and I've just sieved this to make sure there's no lumps in it. And just work it together by hand so you don't end up with clouds of icing sugar all over the work surface. Add a little splash of milk just to loosen the mixture, and then beat it again for another couple of minutes until it's really smooth and shiny. There you go, that's all it needs. And then that is your lovely peanut butter frosting. So take a piping bag, and then I fit it with a star nozzle here, which is going to create really lovely lines. It's really important that when you top the cupcakes, they are completely cold. What will happen is this lovely frosting will start to melt and it will run down the side of the cake. So now the best bit of any cake, the decorating. Take one of your cupcakes and then just pipe it on in a rough circle and then spiral up to the top and pull away. So you get that lovely wavy lines. I've got some chopped peanuts, sprinkle them over, and then some of these freeze-dried strawberry pieces. Just scatter them over. The crunchy peanuts and pieces of dried strawberry finish the cupcake really nicely and tie together all of those flavours in there. And when you break it open, you're going to have that hidden pocket of strawberry jam. And they're as simple as that. My peanut butter.
My favourite ever mince pies. They're like a Bakewell tart but with a festive twist, and they're absolutely delicious. I'm going to start with a pastry. I've got some plain flour in a large bowl. I'm going to add some ground almonds, diced butter, some icing sugar, and the zest of a large orange, and I'm going to use quite a fine grater here. I'm just going to give it a quick stir just to disperse that orange zest. And rub the butter with your fingertips until the mixture resembles breadcrumbs. Now, if you want to save time, you could always use a ready-made sweet short crust pastry, but this one is absolutely wonderful. And then once you're happy with the mixture, we've got no large lumps of butter left, just make a well in the centre and drop in an egg yolk. And if you want to, you can just add a splash of water. I'm going to add just a little drop because I don't want a dry pastry. And then with that knife, just work it together. I find making pastry really therapeutic, and it's a great way to get 5 minutes of peace over Christmas. And I'm just kneading it very lightly in the bowl to make a smooth, quite soft dough. So I'm just going to pop it out. Because it's quite soft, I'm just going to wrap it in cling film pop it in the fridge for about an hour, just until it firms up nicely and it's ready to roll. So I've rolled up my pastry nice and thinly. It's about the thickness of a £1 coin, and I'm going to stamp out my circles. I'm using a plain cutter, but you could use a fluted one if you prefer. And you're probably going to have to re-roll the trimmings to make sure you've got enough to fill the tartlet tin. Okay, just remove the trimmings and then just gently lift off and just ease it into the base, and don't worry if it overlaps a bit because we have got that filling to go in. And that's the last one just going in. And let's just move that aside. And for the fruity mincemeat layer, I've got some mincemeat in a bowl here. I'm going to add some dried cranberries and just stir those together. And just put small spoonfuls of the mixture into the base of each little tartlet. And press it down quite well. And then pop those into the fridge while you make the topping. For the frangipan topping, whisk the butter and sugar together for 3 or 4 minutes until it's pale and fluffy. The mixture is nice and soft now, so I'm just going to turn that off and add an egg and some almond extract and just give it a final whisk up. And then stir in some ground almonds and a tablespoon of flour. Now all we need to do is put a little spoonful of the mixture on top of each tartlet and just spread it out to the edges. And try and take the mixture right to the edges if you can. That might just help prevent the mixture from bubbling out from underneath. And then to finish them off, just a little sprinkle of flaked almonds. And then just bake them for 25 to 30 minutes until they're golden. Leave them to cool a little and then dust with icing sugar before serving. They are my frangipan and cranberry mince pies.